soul. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat, we need you for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently, and I don't fake it's like that. We've been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Surprise, surprise, you guys. We are back with Nisha's Network. We Work Wednesday. We had a double whammy today, a double segment, and I am super excited to have my next guest here. Not only is she my sister in love, married to my baby brother, David Jason Crawford. That's none other than Katie Crawford. Hey, Katie.
Hi.
So I'm going to give a little intro about my Katie. I'll never forget, she was attending Columbia College back in the day. And I don't know how, I think David was probably there too, or whatever the case may be, but they met, and I knew at that moment that she was a godsend for his life. Katie is massively talented, massively anointed worshiper, musically inclined, gifted, an artist. I could name 1,000 things. And her most recent profession as being a doula. So we're going to talk about quite a few things, but one of the things I know she's most proud of is them 4 little boys, my 4 little nephews that I love dearly. My 4 little nephews.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for being my special guest today. So I want you to introduce yourself. I hear a little feedback in the other room that I'm going to have to, okay, I think it stopped. But anyway, I don't know where that came from. But I would love for you to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about all the things that you do. Just a brief intro.
Okay. Yes, I'm Katie Crawford. I live in Minnesota with my husband, David, your brother. We've been married for 10 years. We have 4 sons. Whew. So if you hear the baby might make an appearance because he loves his mother. I am an artist. I am a doula. So for my artists, I do like watercolor calligraphy. And then I'm a doula, birth and postpartum, which means I help people with their pregnancy journey, labor journey, postpartum journey. I'm also a baby wearing educator, so I teach people how to wear their babies in various styles and ways. I also have like too many things. It's a blessing and a curse. We'll just say. I used to sing back in the day, but we don't do that no more. So we'll talk about that.
Well, delayed might be denied, is not denied. So listen, my sister is a real mama. Okay, so she is not only a mama, an artist, and everything. You all see her stuff in the background, and I'm just gonna say that they are moving, so that's a part of the plan. But not only are we looking at fabric in the background, because she's also a person that can sew as well. She sews and is very creative. So Katie, let's go back to when you were in the days of Columbia. Did you see yourself where you are now with all the many adventures? You know, first of all, tell us your background and what you studied in college and what was your ultimate goal?
So I actually started school in Iowa, college in Iowa, and I was a vocal performance major. But I grew up very sheltered. Iowa was very sheltered, and I felt like I needed to broaden my horizons and learn more about my culture and stuff because I grew up in a white family. So I decided to go to Chicago.
Chicago, learn some culture. Come to Chicago, girl.
The first day was like, I'd never had anyone like ever pay any attention to me growing up. The first day in Chicago, someone was like, "Hey, girl," and I was like, "Where am I?" Anywho, that's a story for another time. But I changed to music business because I thought I wanted to be like a manager for people in the music industry and stuff like that. And also, I'd already done 1.5 years of music related stuff, and I didn't want to be in school any longer than I had to. So and I didn't want to sing anymore. And I had wanted to switch to fashion design, but then they were like, that's like 3 more years. And I was like, no, I need to get out of here. So I just stayed the course, graduated with my bachelor's in performing arts management with a concentration in what is my concentration? I don't even remember. I never used it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I never used it, so.
That's okay. So I want to talk a little bit about your artwork. Give us the name of your website and the name of your business on the artistry side.
Okay, so it's Ahava Creative Co. AHAVA creativeco.com. It's named that it's a Hebrew for love, and all of our kids have biblical and Hebrew names, so it was just felt right to have, it's like another one of my babies, so it felt right to continue in that tradition.
So one of the things that I know that during the Black Lives Matter, she created a sign, and it was even before that though, Katie, right, that you really started showing the value of the African American culture and community. But she just doesn't work with that. But I think that it's really, the beauty of it is the calligraphy that comes through. She even tell us about your coloring book. She published a coloring book, the name of it, and tell us a little bit what motivated you to start that coloring book.
Yeah, so it's called Black Love, and it's gonna make a comeback, I promise, soon. We're working on it. I made it in 2017 after Mike Brown was murdered and the height of things happening. I just felt like I find therapy and creating art, and I wanted my brothers and sisters to feel the same. So I made the coloring book, because coloring can be a form of like therapy and soothing. So I thought I'd make that, and it has a lot of affirmations for Black people. So I thought they would be able to read them while they're coloring and get like extra doses of feeling the love.
That's beautiful. Yes, she sold out very soon after it was published. So now let's go ahead and talk about. Now you have four boys, and my latest nephew is Zachariah. And so the truth is that tell us what made you decide to be a doula. First of all, I think you need to define doula for a lot of people because they really don't know what a doula is.
Yeah.
So what is a doula?
A doula is a support person. They don't do anything medical, so they're not a midwife. That's different. Sometimes people get doula.
A support person for who is important?
It's for the birthing person, but sometimes the partners need support too. So
really?
Yeah, so part of what I do is I also make sure that the partner is eating and drinking, because they'll forget, and then all of a sudden they're gonna faint.
Okay.
So I'm actually support for everyone, but mostly for the birthing person that is having the baby.
So a doula is a person who is supporting the family of someone about to give birth. And what made you decide to go into that field?
My third birth with Samuel was traumatic, and I'm still like healing from that, but I was denied a doula. They had like hospital doulas, and they told mine once I decided to get an epidural, and told me they were going to give it to someone who needed it more, which if you have an epidural, you can still have a doula. Like there's nothing, you can have a doula no matter what. And then some things happened that, like Sammy came out not breathing right away and needed some help. And it was just all a very like traumatic experience, like how everything went down, and I wasn't heard a lot through the whole experience. And so after that happened, I was like, I'm going to become a doula to help people who, because a lot of Black women are ignored in medical care. Okay.
So in that traumatic, well, Sammy's here alive and well. Let me tell you, he's a smart little guy. So thank the Lord for my number 3 nephew from that David Crawford and Katie Crawford tribe. But what I want to say is that, you said that they weren't heard, and I won't categorize just African American women. But what I will say is the support system. I wanna hone in on that. So from beginning, you find out you're pregnant. Then what happens? Do they have to pre-plan having a doula, or how do they reach out and say, you know what? They tell their doctor, I want a doula. What happens with that process?
It's different for everyone. Usually, people just hear from other people about having a doula, and then they reach out to the community, or like you can just Google like doula, and then in like Minnesota, and then like options will come up, and then that way, or they ask friends and family like, oh, did you have a doula? And it's also like our job to educate people that there are doulas out there. Like, you should really have a doula. It can actually, there's studies that show that it helps birth outcomes significantly. So it's just more like word of mouth, because sometimes doctors don't want you to have a doula because they have their own agendas. But I digress.
Okay, so see, I didn't know that. I had no clue about that. That doctors have their own agenda, because I thought they work hand in hand. So are you saying like people still need their physician? Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. I like I said, I don't do anything medical. So if my clients message me like, my head hurts, I'm having a lot of swelling, it's not my job to be like, oh, I think you could have preeclampsia, like your blood pressure. I might say like, oh, that could be signs that your blood pressure might be high. You might want to call your doctor to like get further testing. I'm not going to diagnose and be like, tell your doctor you need A, B, C. Like, I'm going to get in trouble.
Right, right. So if you're walking along somebody for 9 months through a pregnancy, and then you watch them give birth, what's the most rewarding thing about your job?
Oh my gosh, like when they have their babies, however they have their baby, it's just the looks on their face when they finally see this person they've been growing forever, because it feels like forever. And then I still get pictures from clients like of their babies, like at Easter, or a Christmas card. I got a Christmas card from a client and it made me want to cry because it was just like the cutest thing. Like, they're like, yeah, I love watching birth.
So how much time, Katie, does it take to be a doula? Because you have your own family, you know what I mean? Are there designated times, because if someone's interested in this field, how would they allot time for that in the midst of their own family? I can't even imagine.
It's on call work. So, you don't know when someone's going to go into labor most of the time. Sometimes you do, but you have to have a supportive family. Like, David's really supportive of my work, and we're blessed that his job can be more flexible with his hours. Like, he can reschedule meetings and stuff. So if I do have a birth, he typically can come home or work from the garage, and like one of the older boys can be in the house with the kids. But yeah, it can be long hours too, especially with COVID. They don't let people in and out as much as they used to. So you could be there for anywhere from like 5 hours.
Wow.
Like I was at a birth for 19 hours once.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. I didn't sleep for like 36 hours. It was rough, but you can be at a birth for a very long time. So just knowing that you have to have those longer hours. I'm slowly getting back into doing it because I was on maternity leave with Zachariah. But yeah, it can be rough, but with the hours, but it's so rewarding at the end. Super rewarding.
So if you guys just tuned in, I'm talking to my sister, Katie Crawford, my sister-in-law. She's in Minnesota, her and my brother, and with their 4 boys. But she is an amazing individual. But one of the things we're honing in on is her business as a doula, and how important it is for birthing moms to have a doula and to have someone to walk alongside them to help them along the way all the way to delivery. And so with that being said, what would you recommend? How hard was it for you to become a doula? I know I've walked a little bit beside you with your journey, but what is the most difficult thing about becoming a doula?
So I did a program that was created by a Black midwife, which I think for me was very important. I wanted to take a course from someone who has walked some of those journeys as a Black person. I would just say finding a reputable program that is actually going to tell you the real things that are happening, so that you can be better prepared for working with birthing people. And also, my program certified me for life, and some certifications you have to like recertify every like couple years.
Okay.
And
So do people pay cash, or do doulas take insurance?
It depends. I have had one client who was able to pay through HSA. And then in Minnesota, it's different from every state. So Minnesota has a few certified organizations that can take insurance, but you have to be through like another program. So I work for a program that takes state insurance.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, how can people get in touch with you? First of all, I need to ask you, do you travel? Because people are all over watching this. So how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I could travel. I also do virtual doula work. So if you ever,
Okay.
so you can do virtual, which is like I would still walk with you prenatally through it via Zoom. And then I could be on a phone call with you during labor to just help walk you through the different things that we've already went over. But it's just nice to have that third kind of support person, or even second support person if I'm your only support person. But yeah, Doula Katie is my handle on most things. I'm on Instagram as Doula Katie. So my name is spelled differently. So Doula is Doula, and then Katie is Kaytee. And I'm also on TikTok as the same, and I'm on Clubhouse as Doula Katie as well. I'm trying to like streamline everything into that. So I'm actually doing a Clubhouse on Friday.
Okay, what time?
I think it's at 10 a.m. But we're doing.
Right. Well, look up Katie on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Clubhouse, and Doula Katie. And so, out of all the things you've accomplished, what are you most proud of?
Oh, you already know. Those 4 boys. You know, they are just like so much and the best. And I do this work because of them, and I'll continue to do this work to help support them. I'm getting them a house this year. David and I are getting them a house this year. So yeah, those boys are my ride or dies. So.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining me today and just giving people a little knowledge about doula work. There are many birthing moms, and I know there were a lot of quarantine babies that were born, that were conceived during quarantine, but
they're coming.
But the truth is that it is a blessing to have someone to walk alongside you that has a gift and a heart for mothers and a heart for babies. And so thank you so much. Is there any last words you would like to leave, even birthing moms or just moms in general, to encourage them during this time of life?
You know, motherhood and parenthood is hard, and it's tough, but you are tougher. You know, if you need support, I'm always here to talk. If you don't have anyone else to talk to, I understand. So a lot. I've been through all the different things, but you are tougher, and this too shall pass.
That's so good. Thank you so much for encouraging everyone. So life is tough. Parents are tough. Parenthood is tough. Motherhood is tough.
You're tougher.
But you're tougher. So thank you so much for joining. If you guys have not subscribed to Nisha's Network, please do. Nisha's Network, patreon.com / Nisha's Network is on the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am so grateful that you were here today. So
yeah.